Hi there, my name is Aaron Short and welcome to my YouTube channel. And today is Friday, 7 p.m. on February the 25th, 2022. Thank you so much for joining me. And thank you so much for today's guest, who is Dylan Talks Tone. Let's bring him on. How you doing, Dylan?
Hey, what's going on?
This is great. And the
And
restream,
it's
the
working.
restream worked. Woo, woo, woo. I think that deserves one of these, buddy. Maybe you can't hear
I
that. I just
love that
played.
thing.
Did you hear that? You heard it. I know. I'm so used to
Oh, I
hearing it.
heard it.
I'm so used to hearing it on your channel. Hopefully we'll hear it
I
tonight.
love it.
The great thing is I'm sending the broadcast out, but it's going to Dylan's channel and my channel. I believe I can see everyone's comments, which is great. So just a bit of housekeeping. If you like what we're doing, please make sure you subscribe to my channel and Dylan's channel. We're both working together today. And if you do want to send a super chat through to support us or to bump your question or comment up, of course, if you do it on Dylan's channel, it'll go to his channel. If you do it on my channel, it'll go to mine. So I think this is a great platform, Dylan, and I'm glad we got it working. This is awesome for collaborating
Yes.
on videos. So before we begin, while people are arriving, how are you doing? I see you've got a new place, right? Just give us an update quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. So everything's going good. We're sitting here making pickups every day and super busy. And I've got room for more guitars. So we've been doing some fun stuff, some good videos. And yeah, we got a really wacky video coming out on Monday about a guitar that you can swap the pickups in.
Mm,
So that's pretty cool. Um, really interesting tech, but really well executed for the first time. Usually those aren't very good. So that's one of the later things we're doing. And then we also started a full-on podcast,
mm,
um, video and audio for guests,
right.
because I tried to have guests during the live stream on Thursday, but it just ruined the vibe of hanging
Mm.
out with the viewers and answering questions and stuff. So we're doing it separately. So I'll be hitting you up to get on the dedicated podcast
Awesome.
um,
I'd love to.
pretty soon.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Anytime. You know, I love these collaborations. I feel like it's great when we do our solo stuff, of course, but to have this collaboration like we had with the Silver Sky, to actually talk about it, our own ideas and opinions, obviously as long as it's respectful, we disagree, and then we have the chat as well, and we can really get into this and we can all learn from each other. I just think this is great, and this is an awesome thing. And today's topic is carbon fiber versus wood guitars. So please, in the chat, if you've experimented with this yourself, if you've owned carbon fiber guitars and wood guitars, please let us know. We're going to focus today on acoustic guitars, but of course this could also go into electric guitars as well. There's a lot of benefits to carbon fiber. And again, before we get into this too deep, I'm going to say hi to our friends in the chat. So we've got Muddy Creek Critters here. Good to see you, buddy. We've got Richard. How you doing? Says howdy. Lee is here. And I know where Lee is, it's after midnight. So a big shout out to Lee for being up after midnight to watch the stream. Appreciate it, Lee. Says your video playing the guitars and honestly have no idea what was carbon. So during the stream today, I'm going to play the video that I made last week to see if people could guess which was which. And I'm going to share the results with you for the first time because I think they reveal quite a lot. And Dylan, I've been doing that lately. I've been uploading some snippets. I think it can be annoying to do these kind of blind test videos on my channel. I know when I see those sometimes I get a bit frustrated, like listening and like, which one's which. But I think it's so good to get that information without any kind of bias.
Yes, I agree. And it's really hard to do those in videos because people get annoyed.
Mm,
Because here's the problem. If you do a test in a video, then you put the results at the end of the video, people will just say, oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say.
exactly.
So you have to separate them. But then it's annoying for the viewer because they don't get the answer in the same video, have to go search it. So
Exactly.
I get it.
Mm,
Putting it in a short is a
mm.
fantastic idea.
A YouTube short. I haven't done a YouTube short yet. I want to start those soon. Yeah.
That's a great implementation idea
Mm.
for that.
And then use that to fuel the review. Like I feel like it's a good way to do it. And put that into like I want my reviews to be like the unboxing, the blind test, and my thoughts, and then have like timestamps. And I just think all that makes for a more rounded review rather than just, oh, here's a guitar day one, I like it, put it back in a box and sell it. Whatever. You know, I want to actually make it more of an in-depth kind of thing. And I think, you know, we have such great communities, and to involve them into the reviews and the info is a great way to do it. I think it's great. I love it. We have David Belcher here. Good to see you, David. Good afternoon, Aaron and Dylan and everyone in the chat. And Grant
People
is here.
are asking for more of me, gain-wise.
I was just
And
thinking
think
that. I'm about
you
to
can
say that.
control that, right?
I cannot. Can you turn your mic up slightly? And if not, I could turn mine down slightly. Maybe I'll do that.
Oh, I'm all the way up.
Okay, let me turn my gain down just a little bit. 1, 2, 1, 2. And I'll turn my headphones up. Hello, 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 hello. Too much. Okay, we should be more balanced now. Just say something for me.
I am still here.
Yeah, I think we're more balanced now. Okay, awesome.
Okay.
Thanks for letting us know. And Grant says, "What is tonight's whiskey?"
Actually, I'm drinking water because I've been recording podcasts all week and doing live streams and stuff. I couldn't have a whiskey on every one of these this week. So we just cut it off and went with water.
I have a beverage in my Soundhole Sniffer mug, which doesn't really apply to today because carbon fiber doesn't really have a smell, does it? But we could discuss that later on.
We will discuss that.
These are for wood guitars.
And if I could make a request,
Yeah.
Leslie is listening in the living room,
Mm.
and a hot tea would be amazing. I don't know
Oh.
if that's too much to ask. If she's going to laugh at me through the wall for that, but
So now you're ordering
Go ahead.
food and drinks while you're live from the other room. Okay, that sounds good to me. Okay, Dave is here, watching from Woodinville for a bit. Awesome. Thanks for joining us, Dave. I appreciate it. And Patsy Smith from the UK. Right, everyone in the UK up at midnight, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
wow.
Van Shank, I'm sipping Crown Royale Black. Nothing special. That sounds special to me. I don't know. New Gun Guy says, "What up, my people? Good to see you." Rosanna's here. Says, "Hi, Aaron and Dylan. Everyone in the chat. Happy Friday." Indeed, happy Friday. Dad of New Jersey. Good to see you. Paul Blanton. Great to see you from Montana. And there's Leslie. Leslie, thanks for getting him the hot tea. We appreciate it. Keeping his voice in good form. Chazra's here, also in the UK. We got the UK they're so committed, Dylan. After midnight, we're watching the stream. I love it.
That is so great.
Lisa Gleaton. And I'm bummed because McPherson isn't doing a nylon string carbon series guitar. So we should talk about that too.
If enough people ask.
Okay, we'll go into that, New Gun Guy. We'll talk about other instruments that they could make too, like ukuleles, 12-string guitars, nylon string guitars, electric guitars even. And Banshank says, "I put carbon fiber rods in the neck before." Yep. Again, we'll talk about the stability of carbon fiber. BC Rich, great to see you. Happy Friday for everyone in the US. And hello, Dylan. Oh, I see. Chazza got woken up by my notification. Sorry. Everyone in the UK got woke up. Ding. My CEO 9 has a carbon fiber bridge plate. So some companies like Martin are using carbon fiber parts in wooden guitars. So you're getting these hybrids as well. Yep, that's true. Dylan, do you still have the McPherson? That's the McPherson behind you, right? On the wall? Right,
This one.
there you go.
Yep.
And I've got my rain song here. I'll be showing that in a little bit. Fender uses carbon fiber rods in the Geddy Lee US Jazz Bass and a couple of other signature models. Thank you for sharing that. I didn't know that. That's great. Leslie, he better tip you for the curb service. Yes, you better tip her later for that. And Lee says, "I do ordering the drinks on YouTube all the time." But Lee, you don't go live. What do you mean? Oh, you do it from text? Wow. That's okay. Fine. Thomas, good to see you. And yeah, Dave's with Rain Song. He says they do make a nylon string parlor guitar. Why didn't I know that, Dave? You do make a nylon guitar? Okay.
Oh, we have Rain Song watching tonight.
Yes, Dave
Very
works
cool.
with Rain Song. He is here, which is great. And Scott Martin recently bought a Rain Song. In fact, he's recently bought a couple of Rain Songs. If you want to share that in the chat, Scott. So I don't want to tell everyone your business, but that'd be great to share that with us. He's recently got into carbon fiber himself. A friend of mine, he's sitting in New Hampshire cleaning one of my 2 Rain Songs after a gig today. Looking forward to the discussion. So like I said, Scott, please put your thoughts in as well, because you've recently gone from wooden guitars to the Rain Songs. I want to know how your transition has been as well, and what you feel the benefits. Are there any cons? Are they all pros? Are there any cons? let us know in the chat because that'd be really great. All right, let's get started. So, Dylan, the first thing I want to say to you is your channel's awesome because you do electric and acoustic and building and maintenance and everything. But to get this warmed up, I want to talk about acoustic guitar on YouTube. I was told recently that more acoustic guitars are sold than electric guitars. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but that's what I heard from someone in the business. So bearing that in mind, why do you think so many channels are so focused on electric guitars and don't even talk about acoustic guitars on YouTube?
It's a good question, and I don't have an answer for it. I think it's the goal. I feel like beginner acoustic guitar players, I think the assumption is that they want to move to electric. And so why not just talk about electric stuff? But I think it's really important to focus on new players and what they're doing. And it's something that I've been wanting to focus on more. Obviously, these two guitars behind me and the ones that you have are not entry-level guitars. So it would be good to probably focus more on that. And that's something I intend to do because of exactly what you said.
Yeah. I also think with electric, there's more gear. There's like more pedals, more amps, more, like all the technical stuff. Whereas with acoustic, some people just want to play the acoustic, even without a pickup. They just want to play their acoustic guitar, right? So I think that's part of it as well. But I love the acoustic guitar because I do, like, my main thing in the week is playing solo shows with the acoustic guitar and singing. So obviously that means I'm always playing acoustic all the time. And the electric for me is really, like, in a performance situation is rarer, like to get in a band, especially right now, to play in a band or something. But I do love playing the electric guitar at home as well. But that's why I'm so into acoustic guitars and pickups, because that's what I do during the week. But I think it's interesting. There's only a few channels that I've seen that really go into acoustic.
Somebody on my channel, Van Shank, just said that too many acoustic guitars are hard to play. And that is probably why we should talk about them more
Mm,
and how to choose good low price guitars that are easy to play,
mm,
that, because they shouldn't be hard to play.
right.
That being said, I make pickups for a living. These are my two favorite guitars that I own. I would much rather play acoustic guitar.
Why?
Much
Do you
rather.
do you sing? Do you sing as well?
I don't tell people that I do. I'll say that. I love acoustic guitar because I like the percussive nature of it.
Mm,
I like the movement of it. Um, we don't want to get into this whole thing right now, but the way an electric guitar makes sound versus the way an acoustic guitar makes sound are two completely different engineering approaches,
mm.
and physics and everything. And so I really enjoy an acoustic guitar, big time.
I agree with Van Shank about acoustic guitars are harder to play. I guess by nature, like if you buy an acoustic and it comes with 12s or 13s, if you buy an electric and it comes with 9s, just by nature out of the box, they usually can be easier to play on electric, right? But you can make an acoustic play as easy as an electric if you want to as well. So yeah, I get it though.
What's
Like
your string gauge of choice?
12 on acoustic. How about you?
13.
Now that McPherson ships with 13s, right? I read that today.
Yep.
And the body
Breedlove too.
size, okay, the body size of the McPherson, is it like a kind of like a GPC kind of grand performance size, like smaller than the Dreadnought?
They call it a Camriel. It is, the top bout is a little narrower than the like a Dreadnought.
Hmm.
This one over here is a full-size Dreadnought.
Ah,
This guitar is a full-size guitar as opposed to their touring one, but the top bout is a lot smaller.
okay. So if your wood guitar, let's just be clear, that's a wooden guitar on the right that I can see. That's a Dreadnought body,
Yes.
and your
Hmm.
McPherson, the black one, obviously is the carbon one, and that is looks like it's a similar kind of size. Then that's more of a Dreadnought, isn't it, with the colorway? Okay.
Yeah, and they just call this shape the Camriel because it is a little bit compressed up here.
I've never played one, so I've got a lot of questions for you about that guitar. We got some great points from the chat. Grant says that I think the numbers about what I said before reflect a lot of classic and nylon string players in Spanish-speaking areas as well. Of course, yep, that's a great point. And Dan says people are under the impression that if you start on that you should start on acoustic, not realizing that electric is easier but more expensive to get started. That's also a great point as well.
Ding, ding, ding.
And Van Shank says, having said that, I put extra light strings. So don't forget that. I mean, you can put 13s on a Strat like Stevie Ray Vaughan, and you can put 9s on an acoustic, and you can do whatever you want. You can shave that saddle down and make it really easy to play if you want to. Because I play, but my friend that does my guitars here always says to me he sets them up a bit higher because I play acoustic and I like to really lay in to the guitar, so just to stop buzzing and stuff like that. So a lot of it depends how you play. Of course, that's another video, of course, but they're really good. They're really valid and good points that everyone's making here. Okay, so what was your first acoustic then? Was it wood guitar? And how did you how did people get into a carbon fiber? Because carbon fiber seems so out there. You don't see many of them around, or at least I don't. So what was your first kind of venture into actually a carbon fiber instrument then?
So my first acoustic guitar is a Martin Sigma from 1979 that my dad gave me out of our guitar store. I still have that in the closet over there. I played that for years and years and years. It was my grandfather's, so it stays over there. When I went to replace that guitar, I played every wooden guitar that was out at the time. So all the Taylors, couldn't like them. All the Martins, and then I was at a NAMM show, and Breedlove was there, and Breedlove was there, and I got to talk to Tom Bedell, who's the owner, and he said, "Here, try one," and I was just completely smitten with the Breedlove guitar, and I got this one in 2015, I think, and it's a 20-year acoustic guitar. It is better than a D18. It's so fantastic. But when McPherson came out with the Sable, the McPherson acoustic guitar is my dream guitar of all time, but they're like $10,000 to $12,000. So when they came out with the carbon fiber one, I was like, I really want this because I'm a Formula One freak. I'm a cyclist, and I am very non-traditional about my approach to guitar stuff. I love vintage guitars, but I don't care about them.
Okay.
So I was like, let's get carbon fiber just because it's cool.
This is awesome because we're complete opposites on this, right? I'm really into old guitar. Well, not into old guitars, but I'm into the whole tone wood thing. I made the mug about. I mean, it's a bit tongue in cheek, but the sound hole sniffer is a bit like, what bracing does it have? How old is that wood? Does the pickup effect get plugged in tone? All this stuff, right? So for me, it was more of a kind of a real adventure to go into carbon fiber. But like you, I strummed the first one I got and I liked it. And that is all that matters. I do agree with that. That's what really matters here. The playability and the tone, of course, has to be at the forefront.
When it comes to building materials and structure and wood and all of that, I am all in with you on acoustic guitars. Absolutely. Like I could nerd about every exotic wood and inlays and all that stuff. But when it comes to an electric guitar, make it out of plastic. I don't care.
Well, did you saw the video the other week, right? Where he took all the stuff off and just had what were your thoughts on that?
I loved it.
You
We
agreed
did a
with that?
reaction
Okay.
video to it.
Okay.
Yeah. There are different ways to approach that, and you could argue points in it. But the overarching point is just play your guitar.
Yeah.
You'll be able to make it sound how you want it to sound, more or less, no matter what it's made of.
That was a great video. If you missed it, the guy takes everything off the
Awesome.
guitar and takes it right down to the pickups. And I always say with acoustic guitars too, when you plug in an acoustic guitar, you're hearing the pickup. You're not, unless there's a mic in there, you're not hearing the guitar. You're hearing the pickup. And I guess it's the same with electric, right? And that's why it's great that you make pickups, because when you plug into an amp, you're
Yep.
hearing your pickup. You're not hearing the wood and everything else. But of course, the wood in electric and acoustic guitars may make us happy as a player. Well, my acoustic is made from Brazilian rosewood and has scallop bracing and has been treated and aged, and that if that makes you feel good, because I'm very much about the psychology of stuff too. I know that I'm affected by my mind with gear, so I'm very aware of that with stuff, and I think that's one thing that the carbon fibers are up against as well.
Well, see, here's the thing, and this is maybe we do need to talk about this. The way an electric guitar makes sound versus the way an acoustic guitar makes sound are two different things. You're on an electric guitar, you're taking the motion of the string and you're using a transducer, which is what the pickup is, to take the vibration of the string and convert it to electricity. The movement of the air, except for being the medium with where it moves, has little to do with it. A guitar, an acoustic guitar, is basically a drum. So what you're doing is you're vibrating the top. That is pushing air. The air hits your ears, you hear it. So you are moving air with an acoustic guitar. You're not moving air with an electric guitar. You're converting energy. It's two different things. So on an acoustic guitar, how much the top and the back moves, the vibration of each of the materials, the rigidity of the bridge, the break angles, all that crazy stuff, all matters because you're transferring it to the motion of air. You're not doing that on electric.
Well, I mean, it depends on the pickup as well. I've done I've done about 20 reviews now of acoustic guitar pickups. Obviously, the acoustic guitar pickup can vary between undersaddle, soundboards, transducer, microphone, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff.
I'm talking about just playing an acoustic in the room.
In the room, yeah, yeah. And then you can get into the whole IR thing and trying to recreate that sound, which I don't actually always want. But that's pickups. But to get back to the carbon fiber thing, I think they're up against that in forums. I don't like to talk about forums too much because obviously forums are people's opinions and you're reading it on text and you can take it the wrong way. But what I've seen over the years about forums is there's this thing where people just think that carbon fiber does not sound like wood. Maybe they say it sounds plasticky, it sounds dead. And I think a lot of that is in their mind because it's carbon fiber, right? And hasn't got the romantic side of wood. Like, well, like I said before, I have a Brazilian rosewood aged from Sinca mahogany and all this stuff. So I think carbon fiber is not as romantic as wood, and some people think that it won't sound the same. And I wonder then if when people have the guitar in their hands, if that goes into their mind. And that's another reason I did that blind test, to take that out of the equation.
Yeah. Here's my thing about that whole argument is wood by nature is inconsistent. Period. Because it's a cellular material. You can never repeat it. You cannot duplicate it. Every piece is different. We live in the 21st century. We have the technology to create a synthetic material to more accurately vibrate and reproduce a vibration or a motion of air than wood. The technology is there. And the thing is, on a Formula One car, the wings, they put sensors on those things, measure the minutest of vibrations, engineer those things. A guitar is way easier than most other major 21st century applications of carbon fiber. So it's just a matter of somebody actually taking that technology and properly engineering it and moving it into this space. And then, like what you said, getting people to accept it.
So let's talk about the pros and the pros of a carbon fiber guitar. Like you said, I've just had this thing because in New York, when the heat comes on, all the guitars dry out. I'm buying humidipacks, I'm running humidifiers, I'm refilling humidifiers all the time. And for the first time, I just had a guitar fret filed because I had fret sprout on my Acoustasonic, and they ship those in gig bags, so I don't have a hard shell case. I could rehumidify it back to life, but then a day later it was sticking out again, so I wasn't playing the guitar. So I just had my tech file the frets down, which for me is a last resort, but actually that's the first time I've had that done. It was a very quick and small job, he said, so that's great. But there we go, another thing you've got to do. Now, the great thing for me, the biggest selling point with carbon fiber is you don't have any of those issues, right?
Right.
I mean, imagine if
So
you own 20 vintage Martins. Imagine the stress of maintaining those things.
yeah, yeah.
So
You can leave it in the car. You can
yeah,
play it in any kind of temperature. You can take, when you take an acoustic guitar and you cut all the strings off of it and you put a new set on, and let's say you're tuning from the high E,
Mm.
and you tune up the guitar, and as you go, the loose strings get slacker because the guitar bends as it comes at tension.
yeah, everything moves. Yeah,
Not this one.
right.
It's totally stiff. I don't
I
even have a
did.
truss rod.
I did a test on the stream a while ago where I tuned down the low E to a C, and everything else was still in tune. Whereas on a wood guitar, everything would start to move, right? Because everything's moving all the time. So if you drop tune a lot,
Exactly.
that's awesome for that. All right, should we do some show and tell? Because I want to see these guitars. Can I start with my first carbon guitar? And then we'll
Do
take
it.
a look at yours, and then I'll show you my other one that I have. Now, my viewers don't know I have this guitar because I didn't want to tell them because it would influence their decision on the video that I made. So this is going to be a reveal for me. Make sure you're on the screen as well. There we go. You're in the corner. So this is a Rainsong Smoky. So I had one of these back in 2015, and the reason that I can say that I love this guitar and I love carbon fiber guitars is because I got it. It has the Stage Pro. It had the Stage Pro element. I love the Stage Pro Anthem, so I switched it out. Very easy to switch it out. You just replace the preamp part and stick the mic inside. And I took it to a gig, and everyone loved it. They loved the look of it, which I was scared about, being a traditionalist. I thought they might say, "Why have you got this guitar, right? Where's your wooden guitar?" But they didn't. A lot of people said, "I love the look of it. I love that it looks different." That was really cool. And they loved the sound of it as well. I actually feel like the pickups work well in carbon for some reason as well. I don't know if it's because there's no bracing. It's just basically, I always say it's just a big empty box, which sounds like a negative thing, but I think that then translates the sound really well, especially if you're drumming on the guitar. You get a real like a cajon sound, which is great for the solo thing that I do. And I actually gigged that so much and so regularly that I wore the frets out. Now here's something you can help me to address about carbon fiber guitars. Every luthier in New York City did not want to refret my guitar, and that's why I sold the first one. I played it so much I wore the frets out, and I think as a guitar reviewer that means I liked it, right? That's proof there that I love that guitar. But no one would refret it in the area. Why do you think people are so scared? Because you work with guitars. Why are luthiers scared of, and I wanted stainless steel, by the way, because these are not stainless steel, but why are luthiers so scared of working with carbon? Is that a myth?
Because they don't know.
They just don't know. Okay.
I'm not familiar with Rainsong, but I am familiar with McPherson, and I have double, triple checked with them. They're like, refret it like a normal guitar. It's
Right.
normal. Just do it.
That's what I was told too. That's what I was told too. In fact, I was told it's easier because when you take the frets out, the wood won't splinter because there's no wood.
Right.
So I heard recently on a forum that it's actually easier to refret the carbon. I think the biggest problem with luthiers is stainless steel. They all tell me it messes up their tools. And in New York, to get the last time I checked, to get stainless steel frets and a plec was like $800, which I just thought was insane. I'm sure I could ship it somewhere and have it done. But yeah, so Rainsong
So
used
give us rundowns
nickel.
of specs of that guitar
Okay.
too.
Okay, so we have
You know,
back here.
fretboard and radius and all that stuff.
Oh, I don't know all that stuff. What I know is that
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
I know the that's fine. I know the actually if Dave is still there, he can put it in the chat for me. I know when I first got it, this neck I felt like it was too big for me, and this is called the N2 neck, and the N1 necks were thinner, which they now offer as a custom option, and it's on their 12-string guitars. So I had this thing about, the neck is too fat, but I've got to tell you, over the years, I've kind of adjusted, and I don't mind it anymore. I'm kind of less fussy about that stuff than I used to be. So I actually don't mind this neck at all. This was called the Smoky. Originally, this shipped with black strings as well. Remember those black coded strings you can get, the DR strings? And I don't think they sounded very good. And I think I was watching reviews of this back in 2015, and I didn't think it actually sounded very good in a lot of the reviews. I think it was partly the coded strings. And I don't know. I mean, I'll play my video in a bit, and you'll see what it sounds like. I think it sounds great. But yeah, maybe it's the coded strings back then I didn't like as much. So I put 12s on here. These are Martin strings. The history of Rainsong is crazy. They've made so many different changes over the years. But this one does have a truss rod. And the original ones did not.
Okay.
I think this is what the companies are up against. They're thinking things like, well, the wood guitar players, the traditional players, want the truss rod. They want that backup in their mind, right? That they've got that adjustability. But I gotta say, I think I may have tweaked it on this. I bought this used recently. The one I had before, I think I did make a turn on it, and that was it. Never touch it again. I haven't adjusted this one at all. So I don't think these guitars need truss rods. But I think, again, they're trying to convert traditional players, so they put them in there for that reason, maybe. This is short scale. You can see it's 12. This is a 12 fret. Look, you can see the neck meets at the 12th fret. So this is short scale, which makes the strings easier to bend and gives that kind of nice sweet tone. So I find the playability very good. The only kind of thing I would change on a Rainsong, and I haven't played the McPherson, I haven't played many other brands. I really like the Rainsong, but the one thing I would change is I would have them ship it with stainless steel frets. And I've told them that many times. They won't mind me saying that. And that's simply because I do so many cover gigs that I just burn through frets. Right? So I would love to see them offer stainless steel as an option. But then again, I know you can have it shipped off and have it done at some point in the future as well. And then it has the pickup inside, which I know some people don't want that. Some people want to not have a hole cut in the side of the guitar so they can change the pickup for something else. I do understand that. I also feel like this is great for me because I'm on stage all the time, so I can make adjustments on the fly. So I'm okay with that. But it might be cool to get one and just have the Anthem installed in the sound hole, like on other guitars, like the Anthem SL could just go inside here. I think it sounds great unplugged. I think it sounds great plugged in. Of course, I'm saving a fortune on setups. And these are the guitars that I leave up hanging behind me on the wall at all times because I'm not worried about the humidity and temperature and things like that. And this is what they call a WS body. So this is like a kind of, I don't know, like a Taylor 414 kind of guitar with the colorway.
Yep.
So same depth as a Dreadnought, but smaller overall for comfort on stage. And I think that's it. I don't know what the radius is. I know there was one thing with capo companies being, whatever this, I think this is very flat. And some capo companies were saying it might be a problem with their capos at NAMM a few years ago. But I use G7th and I've had no problem with their capos. So that's good to know. But yeah, have I missed, apart from the radius, have I missed anything?
No. So if you could flip it back over again, I'm just curious. It has a weave on the back of the neck.
Yeah.
So it's all weave. And it's a two-piece meeting back as well.
It looks
as
like
front.
it here, right? Yeah. So the thing with this material is this is actually a mixture of carbon and glass. And I think that was to, I think, hopefully Dave is still there in the chat. I'm not caught up on my screen, but I think what that does is two things. I think it saves them money by doing that combination, but I also really like the sound of it. I really like the sound of this, and I don't think they offer this anymore. So bear that in mind. It's very frustrating as a YouTuber, as you know, to talk about products you love that they don't actually make anymore. That is kind of frustrating, but I do love the sound of this guitar, and that's why I was waiting for one to come up used again. I really wanted to get one again. And they've now switched to something else. Let me just show you the other one while we're here. This is what they do now. And I want to get your opinion on this. You might love this, you might not. This could be very controversial. They are fusing, so same body shape, they're fusing a piece of spruce to the top. Okay? So you still get all the, it's not going to crack. You've still got all the stability and everything. But it's for performers that want to go from like a Martin or a Taylor to this, it gives them that kind of way forward of, well, I mean, there's even like a bear claw, see? It gives them that, it gives them that kind of sneaky way into the venue where no one's going to say anything. What do you think about that? You tell me, and then I'll tell you what I think about it.
I would have to play one because if it felt the same, I don't know that I would care, but I'm curious about like how thick it is, or like, because it's two layers now, right, instead of one. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's a smart
It looks
business
nice.
move. Yeah, I think it's a smart business move because I think those traditional players would go for this. I think the look can put people off. But this is full gloss. Can you see there's full gloss all over on this one, even the neck?
Yep.
And I actually like the satin finish on the other one because I can do that kind of Tommy Emmanuel stuff that comes through the looper. So I
Yeah.
like that. This guitar feels more premium because of the full gloss and everything, and you've got the silver tuners. This feels more premium in the hand, but I actually think the other guitar sounds better to me. And I wonder how much this wood affects it. And in a minute, I'll play the video I posted on my channel. We can take a break and I'll play the video. And then people can hear the three guitars. And I actually feel like this one sounds less like the Martin that I'm comparing it to than the other one. I feel like this really softens the tone, which some people might like, but I prefer more of a kind of attack to the tone, and I think that's actually closer to the wooden guitar. But I think they made a smart business move with these. They do like a sunburst one and all different body shapes, and I think it's a great way to get people invested in carbon. But I wonder then how many of those people will then move on to an actual full carbon guitar, because I know that's kind of what I've just done with buying this old one again. I think that's what they're trying to do, like just get people in, to try these, and then they'll realize the benefits of it. But I think it
What
looks
is the
great.
street price on that guitar?
This is, I think, in a store. This would be about 36 with with the Bags Anthem installed. How much is the
Okay.
McPherson?
The same, I think.
Same price. Okay, so why don't
Yeah,
you tell us about?
35.99 or 34.99, something like that.
Now I've shown you mine. Why don't you show me yours?
Oh, how much does it weigh?
Oh, I have weighed it. If you give me a second, I can tell you. I've just started weighing all my guitars, so I've got it written down here.
My scale is sitting right here, so I'm going to just check really quick.
But your body might be bigger than mine. Remember that too.
5.5.
5.5 pounds. I got to find mine. It's in my notes somewhere. But I think to me yours looks very different. The sound hole's in a different place. It's got the honeycomb look to it. I know it's got Evo fret wire. I was reading about that earlier. It looks really
Yep.
different. It'd be great to play them back to back because I think they're going to be quite different. But yeah, tell us the specs on that one then. The rest of the specs.
Yeah, so the interesting thing about this guitar is it's not about the specs. There's a bunch of crazy engineering to it. But it's a 25.5 inch scale. I put 13s on it. It comes with 13s.
Hmm.
Evo frets. I think it's a 16-inch radius, I want to say. I forget what tuners these are, but they're the German something or other. Anyway, they're really good. Um, this has a Anthem. No, it's an LR Bags, but it's like the one that comes in the Breedlove, but with only one knob.
It's the Element, right?
Uh,
The Element.
Element. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. My other guitar has an Element too, but it's the like SL with two knobs. So, so here's the thing about this guitar. The top is carbon and it is paper thin. And then the bracing, there is bracing, but it's a Nomex that's cut into a weird shape and then fused to the top.
Huh.
So it does have it's not like bracing going across. It looks like actually it looks like fingers kind of going like this out into the top. Then the other major thing about a McPherson is the neck is cantilevered over the top.
Hmm.
So you don't get the tail of the top glued to the top of the guitar. There's a gap under here. So it vibrates all the way up to here. And then his reason for moving the sound hole is the center of the soundboard vibrates more than the edges. So why kill it with putting a hole there? Basically, that's the short version. The neck is, we have a full video on our channel where we took a tour of the factory and showed you
Oh, wow.
everything.
Where is the factory?
Yeah. Sparta, Wisconsin.
Okay.
Yep. And they have their wood side where they're like really, really expensive guitars are. And then they have a full carbon side. And something I should mention, the owner of McPherson is Matthew McPherson. And anybody that is into archery would know him as Matthew's Archery. So he makes all these carbon fiber bows and all kinds of super fancy stuff like that. So his whole thing is, if I could stop a bow from vibrating, I can make a guitar vibrate. That's kind of his thing. So it's really engineered. Like, it's not just a guitar. It's like a science project.
Yeah, and it looks very modern to me. And the specs are modern, to be fair. Right?
Yeah. Yep.
So I'll put those specs up on the screen. I just found them. And, oh, by the way, Dave said the radius on mine is 20 inches.
Oh, okay.
And yours is, what's the radius on that, you know?
I thought it was 16, but I can't remember.
I don't see it on the website, which is interesting. Let me just share the screen here. Here we go. So it's got the offset sound hole. Rainsong also have one with the offset sound hole, like at the front of the guitar, which I'd like to try one day as well. So cantilevered neck, C-neck profile, Goto tuning machines, Evo frets, plecked. I love plecking too. I don't think Rainsong used the pleck. Look, I can't say it. I can't say, well, I wish it was plecked to be much better, but I do like to know my guitars have been plecked. So I don't think they use a pleck. Again, if Dave's there, let me know. I mean, like you said earlier, either plays well or it doesn't, right? At the end of the day. 5.45 pounds. Mine is 5.7, the vintage one. And then the Smoky is, I haven't weighed that yet, but that's going to be lighter than that. So about the same. Oh yes, another thing. So yours comes with a Reunion Blues gig bag. The Rainsongs come with the hard shell cases, and they've told me that's because people see more perceived value on the hard shell case, which I understand, but I kind of feel like carbon guitars should come with really good quality gig bags because you don't need to keep them in a hard shell case. That's just my opinion.
So I'll tell you a story about that. Mine was the first one. They were doing hard shell cases, and they stopped because nobody wanted them. They were like, this is a light guitar. We want a light case. Exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
And that's why.
Yeah.
Also, people don't understand what a gig bag is anymore in 2022, or how much they cost. So yeah.
I get tired of defending. It started with the Acoustic. It comes with a gig bag. It's $2,000. I get tired of defending it. Look, there's a gig bag from Amazon that's $30, and there's a gig bag from Reunion Blues or Mono that's $600, right, or whatever. You know, that's not quite true, but
yeah,
you know, there's gig bags and there's gig bags, and if you're actually buying an instrument to travel around with and to gig with and to take on vacation, you kind of want a gig bag. Like I said, I kind of wish the Acoustic was a hard shell case because I had that fret sprout from it. But certainly with a carbon instrument, I want just a really high quality gig bag to take around. I actually thought about throwing away the Rainsong cases and buying gig bags instead, which sounds terrible, you know, donating them. That sounds terrible, right, to do that. But that's how much I want a gig bag with my carbon guitars. So
I don't like hard shell cases. They take up too much room.
Exactly. But they are good if you've got a vintage Martin that's worth a lot of money, or any, I keep saying that, any wood guitar. Breedlove, right?
That being said,
They're
you're
good for
right.
that.
This stays in the case, the hard shell case,
Right?
because of that. It's
Exactly.
easier to manage.
Yeah, yeah. I've just got a new stand that holds 6 guitars over there, and it's one of those Hercules stands. It's great, but I've only got electrics on there, and I'm humidifying the room. Any kind of wood guitar is in a hard shell case with a humidifier because it's so dry here. Guitar Ninja, I have 8s on my acoustic. I mean, there you go. There you go. It's just that they tend to ship
That's cool.
acoustics with 12. They tend to ship electrics with 9s. But you're right. You can put any gauge on any guitar if you want to customize it for yourself. Okay, so Scott says, I have both wood and carbon fiber. I've now owned 4 Rain Songs, 5 Emeralds. Oh, I didn't know that, Scott. Okay, 5 Emeralds and 2 Journey guitars. All are great at what they do. I also have wood guitars, which are great. The thing I love the most about carbon fiber is their bulletproof imperviousness to extreme environments like temperature and humidity. Yeah.
So speaking to that point, I sold this guitar to buy this one. And a year later, I bought this guitar back because it's my favorite acoustic I've ever had. Well, till I got this one. And I had to have it back. Like, that's the other thing about all of this stuff. This is not an either or thing. Like, they do the same thing differently. It's like having a Strat and a Tele, in my opinion. So they don't have to sound the same. They just have to sound good. That's kind of where I'm coming from.
I agree. It's just I feel like a lot of traditional players want their acoustic to sound like an acoustic, and unfortunately I think a lot of them want it to look like an acoustic. And then you've got that thing that I suffer from where you want it to say something on the headstock, which we spoke about before with the Silver Sky, right? I suffer from that, like the whole Hendrix Fender thing. I know you're not into that, but that is a reality for some people. They want it to say something.
Except that I want it to say McPherson.
Okay.
That's like different. McPherson is a dream brand for me. Like, I've always wanted one.
Yeah. So I'm trying to branch out.
Rain Song too. But
I am trying to branch out and cover other brands on the channel. So I have guitars that are kind of my my reference points for playability and tone that I like, as you know. But I'm trying to get into other brands now. And so I use those as benchmarks, but I want to try other brands. I haven't played the Breedlove. Can you believe that? I talk about acoustic guitars all the time. I haven't played the McPherson. I haven't played so many brands that I want to go and visit those soon. And then I'll compare them to what I have now. And maybe I will, change my mind on that too. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to...
Guitars are changing.
Dylan, I'm going to play the video that I posted with the recordings. So if you're at home, then you put some headphones on, you can have a listen, see what you think, put it in the comments. That will give us about 3 minutes to take a little break as well if we need to. And then when we come back, we'll run through people's comments. I think we've covered, we've discussed the specs, we've talked about what we like about the carbon and some different things. Let's play that recording to take a few minutes. When we come back, we'll answer the questions in the chat. Sound good?
Yeah.
Awesome. And also, once again, if you're watching on my channel, you like what Dylan's doing, please subscribe to him, and vice versa. If you're watching on Dylan's channel, like what I'm doing, please subscribe, ring the bell. We'll play this video, and we'll be right back. See you in 1 second. Okay,
Okay.
that was the video. Let me just
Before
one thing.
you give the answers.
One thing. Thank you. Thank you. I just gave myself a round of applause. All right, you can continue.
Before you give the answer,
Yeah.
I want to get a general consensus of not which is which,
Yeah.
but which one's the favorite.
Favorite, or even both. Which
Yeah.
one do you think was which one do you think of A, B, and C? They were all the same in each example. So 3 examples, A, B, and C. I didn't change the order. Which one do you think was wood, and which one was your actual just favorite tone of the 3? And remember, that was just recorded with this microphone only. You're not hearing it in the room, but you were hearing this Sennheiser, Neumann microphone. Just one microphone. No additional changes made. Yeah, I think it'll be really interesting. And then I'll also share the results that I got during the week as well. And we'll just discuss that, and then we'll wrap up with all the comments. We've got some great comments today. Again, thanks everyone for their time, because for me, the live comments are just so great to get people. We get everyone's
So
experience,
fun.
not just our experience, right? Which is great.
Love it.
So, all right, I'm going to scroll down the bottom of the chat so I can see what people are saying. Gret Zeppelin says A was wood, C was the favorite. So bear that in mind, Dylan. David liked A the best. Blaine Train likes A the best. Robert likes C the best. Rosanna, none were plugged in. It was all microphone, okay? I think A is plugged in carbon fiber. C is mic'd carbon fiber. None of them are pickup. But like I said, when you play the pickup, you hear the pickup, not the guitar. So I just did the microphone for this one. DJ Play Nice like C the best. Dave H like A the best. Dustin likes B and C. Rosanna like B the best. John likes C the best. Dylan, I love doing these experiments. I think they're really valid. But what happens to me is I post it and I get a few comments that validate my opinions. And I'm like, yes, okay, great. And then you know what happens the next hour? They all go the other way. It's like, oh, Joan
What
says
were your
B is the
results
best.
during the week?
John likes C the best. Mario likes A the best. Thinks A is wood. I wonder why people think so. So Mario, why do you think A is wood? I try to ask people that on the video as well. Like, don't just say I think A is wood. What is it about A that makes you think that's wood and not carbon?
Great question.
Dylan, I don't think you couldn't hear that through the headphones, right? Was that low quality for you? Because I was going to ask you which one you think is which.
So it was a little bit low quality. I did watch the video earlier this week.
Okay.
Here's what I'm going to say. I know, because I have one of these things, that there is a particular quality, and I'm not going to say what it is until after you give all the stuff, but all of them had it. And I think it was the mic. So I think the mic actually equalized some of the qualities that I was personally looking for.
Okay. For me, that's the thing I want to talk about more. Like when we listen to these gear reviews, I mean, we do gear reviews, we use microphones, and there is something about playing the instrument in the room, of course, right? You have to play this. I encourage everyone watching today to go out and try these things for themselves. And we know that, like, this is video. There's a difference. I talk about all the time with the digital, the Kemper and the Helix and that stuff, and a tube amp. For me, there's something in the room that I get from a tube amp that I just don't get from like a Helix or whatever. So you definitely have to try this stuff in the room. But even so, I think it's fascinating, and when I give the results, I also want to tell you about what I think about how carbon fiber guitars can sound different as well. It's not like carbon just has a sound. All these different carbon fiber guitars sound different as well. So that's a whole new thing. Blaine thinks A is the Rain song. It's super bright. Gret Zeppelin, I felt like I could hear a vibration with the A guitar. And Mario says the way it resonates in the low frequencies on A. Dustin says A sounded heavy, like it has mass. Scott Martin, who plays both kind of guitars, thinks that the Rain Song is A, B is wood, and C is the smoky. A and C have a shimmery highs, but C is louder. Blaine says, I found your channel because of your Kemper tutorials. You have saved the day many times. Is that for me? It's so funny, Dylan, because I tend to do a lot of different stuff. And although I do a lot of acoustic guitar stuff, when I had my Kemper, I did like 3 Kemper tutorials, and I think they got me a lot of subscribers. I have a Kemper now. I have the powered head. I really like it. You had that once, right? The powered head?
Yeah, I did. That was for you.
That could be our next late night live stream, talking about the Kemper and the quad. You'll get the quad cortex. So when you get that, we'll do another one about the quad cortex. Awesome. I don't mean to speak for you, by the way, if you're up for it, of course. Totally. Robert Hastings says C sounded more balanced to me. There doesn't seem to be a general consensus, does there?
No.
And this is good for if you want to do the whole carbon versus wood thing. This is good for carbon fiber, because it's not like everyone's just saying, well, A is carbon fiber. I can hear it. If we could do that, then obviously maybe there is maybe a problem or something there. If everyone, and I did this similar video a few months ago as well, and I think the Maton actually came out on top. I did the Maton versus the Martin versus the Rain Song, and everyone said they preferred the sound of the Maton, which I found interesting when I have a lot of Martin viewers on the channel. And then the Rain Song got the least votes, but no one said, that was the vintage, by the way, which I think sounds different to the smoky, but nobody said, I can tell B is the Rain Song because I can hear carbon fiber. I think what I've learned from this test the most is people can't really hear. I mean, maybe some can in the chat. I apologize if you can, that's fine. But from the general results I'm getting, it's not like, well, B is obviously carbon fiber. People have to really think about it. And I think that's a plus for carbon. But
I think you have to think about it the same way. Like if you changed from a D18 to a D28 to a like 414 Taylor to a Cole Clark, all those guitars sound very different. So why can't this just be another one? You know?
Yeah, of course. And the whole thing, I've got their carbon fiber versus wood. I mean, some people might be looking for that, but of course, with instruments, they all have their own merits. Shall I give the results, and then as we go through the comments to finish, we'll reflect on them as we go. And are you going to put a guess in or not? I'm putting you on the spot.
I'm going to say the first one was carbon, the second one was wood, and the third one was the one with the wood top.
Okay. All right. We need a drum roll for this. A was a Martin GPC body wood guitar. B was the Rain Song guitar, vintage guitar with the wooden top. And C was the smoky guitar. So I think, and that's easy for me because I made the video, but I think actually this one with the wooden top, I think it sounds less, I said earlier, I think this sounds less like the wooden guitar and the smoky than the others. I actually think they make it more visually like a traditional guitar, but at the same time, it does something to the sound that I don't like as much of the other two. That's just my opinion. So I think that's really interesting. Just because you put a piece of wood on top of carbon doesn't necessarily mean it makes it more like wood sounding, right? In fact, it might do the opposite. And again, that's just my opinion.
I'm curious about the thickness of that and how that all works.
They have on their channel. They have a video about the process. It's not just like stuck on top. It's like when they make it, they fuse it to the top. But obviously, it does affect the sound that's coming through it. And I always assumed it would make it more wood-like. But again, I really think for me, in fact, I slightly prefer this one to the wooden guitar because it has a bit more attack to the tone. I personally like that sound. So I know, like you said, it's all subjective, right?
Hmm.
All right, let's go through the comments and we'll see what people said, and then we'll see if we get like a general consensus if people could hear it. Scott said high-end wood guitars still rule for the very best tone. Okay. The carbon fiber is making great strides with offerings like the newer Rainsong Sound Fusion technology tops. Van Shank says, I currently have a set of 10s on the acoustic. So a lot of people here are using light gauge strings. It seems like a lot of electric players are just going for the light gauge strings on their acoustic. So that's good. I didn't know people were doing that. That's good. Dave from Rainsong says, I own wood guitars and carbon guitars, and the thing I love most about the carbon guitars is they feel and sound the same every time. We didn't talk about that, Dylan, the consistency. Well, you mentioned consistency in build, all right? Okay, the wood and everything. But also, if you, like Tommy Emmanuel, if you fly from Australia to England, the sound of the wood can, with the humidity and everything, can affect the tone of the guitar as well as the playability, right? So a carbon guitar will
Absolutely.
always sound exactly the same for better or worse. Always sound the same. Dustin says, love the video. Does the material tone wood matter with piezo pickups on an electric? A piezo pickup on an electric guitar, you mean, like a Strat or acoustic electric? I don't think piezo really is
Electrics are
affected.
not really that much.
I would argue, and I was going to make this comparison at some point too, but a piezo pickup in acoustic will pretty much sound the same on any guitar because you're only really getting information from that pickup at the bridge. You're not getting like the body sound come through that as much. A little bit maybe, but not like you would a microphone. I think that evens the playing field with a piezo pickup.
This was a really good idea, Aaron, because there's a lot of people in the comments, like, I thought I was wrong and I learned something. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way I thought that one was wood. I have to look into this more. It's cool.
That's why I did it. I honestly believe, from knowing a lot of acoustic players, that when you give them this, the first thing they think is it's going to sound like plastic. And when you take that out of the equation, because you can feel it too. This doesn't feel like a wood guitar in my hand either, both the weight and everything about it. But when you take away those things and just focus on tone, I think it actually blows my mind how close they are. I know you're saying it doesn't really matter, it's not about that. But I think it really is kind of crazy how this can sound so much like these wood guitars that are expensive and renowned and sought after. It's kind of crazy. I encourage people to try carbon for those reasons. I think that they're what's the word? Underrated. I think they're underrated.
You touched on something that was probably the hardest thing for me to get used to, actually. The temperature. So, well, and the smell, because it doesn't smell like a Martin when you pull a new Martin out of the case. Like, it doesn't. In fact, I called McPherson and I was like, can you make these things smell different? Because this smells like not wood. Smells like something else. Sound hole sniffer. And but the feel of it, like if you play it first thing in the morning and the neck is cold, it doesn't warm up in your hand the same way that a wood guitar does. So there is this weird, for the first 5 or 10 minutes, it's like acclimating to your body. It's kind of weird, which you don't have with a wood guitar. So that'd be the only one little like adjustment I had to make.
Well, I've heard stories that some people don't like the smell of like the wood guitars. I mean, obviously they're crazy, right? But I've heard that too. To be completely fair, how does that breed love smell? Is it good?
Oh yeah.
Don't tell me you don't sniff that guitar, Dylan.
Oh, I do.
Have you tried the Tonewood amp? I had a demo at NAMM. Have you tried one of those? Have you reviewed the Tonewood amp?
No, I want to.
Me too.
But they weren't very nice to me the last time I tried to get in touch with them.
Sorry to hear that. But I hear a lot of people use them. That's the whole thing again. You're sticking this mass onto the acoustic guitar and then all that kind of stuff. I think I would rather get something like the Yamaha with the built-in, but it doesn't have as many effects, but it has the built-in reverb. And a lot of companies are doing those now as well. I'd like to try those out, I think. Lee makes a great point. Acoustic guitars are amplifiers. We forget that sometimes. Well, I do. Good point. But you're not going to play in a rowdy bar with it without a pickup system. That's my problem with that. PRS completely disagrees that the body and timbre of an electric guitar makes no impact on the sound. He says with a wink. And Grant says, if your mic doors your guitar is a drum. Yeah, he's awesome. And he's got like 3 pickups in his guitar as well. 10s are a good compromise of tone and playability. Yeah. 331B says, don't the vibrations of the strings on an electric guitar influenced by the material the said guitar is built of? So does the material of the wood of an electric guitar influence the way the strings vibrate, which therefore will influence the sound of the pickup? I don't know. What do you think?
I think that is an entire other video.
Colin, good to see you here. I love the sound of carbon fiber guitars, but find them too loud and too resonant for singer-songwriters. That's really interesting. Because a lot of acoustic players are just looking, I know, just want volume, volume, volume all the time. They're looking for those loudest dreads they can possibly get. And then there are some players, like Colm says, that actually don't want that. They want a more mellow sound that they can sing over. Again, also, depending on your voice. So I'm 6'5", and I sing from my chest, and I have a very loud voice in the room. But some singers, like if you're Sting or someone, you have Bono, you have a head voice. And there's all these stories about Roy Orbison, right? Amazing singer, but in the studio, his voice was very quiet because he was using the head voice. And that's why he used the microphone to project. So a singer like that might prefer. So that, yeah, it's a great point. Again, great having the chat here to bring up points like that. I agree. Now, you can get smaller guitars.
Yeah.
Let me know this. Rainsong over the years have made many different guitars. They've actually dabbled in, I believe, electric guitars and all different body sizes, parlors, jumbo. They make jumbos now and parlors now. So with McPherson, is that the only body shape they make? That one and the smaller one you mentioned, the Touring, is that all they make? They don't make other sizes, right?
In carbon, correct.
In carbon. Okay, so like Rainsong actually make a parlor, which I played at a Sam Ash once, and I really like the sound of that. So maybe that's the answer, Colm, to get like a smaller body Rainsong, and then you have less natural volume. Grant says, watering your guitar is a pain. I agree. If you like to have a lot of acoustic guitars and you're constantly refilling the humidifier, it is kind of annoying. I do feel that way. Also expensive to maybe buy humidifiers, maintain them, buy filters. If you get any cracks and you want a luthier to repair them, this is all added expense all the time. So that's another pro for carbon. Top Gus says, too many words, but a simple blind test would show you that it's impossible to tell the difference between a $50 Chinese guitar and a $20,000 Les Paul custom shop. Pickups quality only. I mean, based on the video we were talking about earlier, that's true, right? If the guitar really doesn't make any difference and it's all about the pickups. Do you agree with that?
Not totally, but I can see where he's coming from for sure.
Yeah. But like I said, there's also that other stuff that we can't deny. There's the stuff that some people just want to play a 50s Strat, whatever. There's people that just want to play a vintage Martin because in their mind, that's what they want. I'm not discounting that as well. I'm just offering this as another viewpoint to get people's minds thinking a little bit. Maybe go out tomorrow and try a carbon fiber guitar. I'm not saying that I discredit that stuff because I love that stuff too.
Yeah, the reason I bought this guitar, because it was right in that time with the CITES stuff and rosewood and ebony and all that. And I told myself that I wanted one more before we have to start worrying about sustainability and all that, because we kind of do now because of availability and stuff. I wanted one more spruce top, rosewood back and sides, ebony fretboard, double bound, like properly good 20-year, 30-year acoustic guitar. Like I wanted one more. Now, I'll play poplar, I'll play whatever you want, doesn't matter. But there was a couple of, like what you always say, there's some traditional things that you just want to have. And that guitar did that for me.
Yeah. Blaine had a Rain song in the early 2000s. The story of Rain song is great, Dylan. Look it up.
I
It,
will.
it's, it started with the guy was at a wedding in Hawaii, and he's like, I need to make a guitar where the rain won't be a problem. It won't get wet. So that's why they made it. It's a long story, but one thing I'll say about that, Blaine, is that they have changed a lot over the years too. Like the original ones had bracing. Now they don't. Like my guitar from 2015 has this different material. They don't now. They're using different stuff. So definitely try the ones that are available now, and I hope to try more of them as well. But bear that in mind.
I'm interested in I want to try one
Yeah,
for
no,
sure.
you should. Um, Carpo Craft says, "Oh man, I was just in the backyard building my first through neck guitar. Awesome, and I came in and saw this live. That's great. Awesome. That sounds great." And Dustin said, agree, would like to see that do the test with piezos to test that curiosity. And Blaine says they are scared because you can't undo a mess up. And Mario says, hi, Aaron. Speaking of looks, how do you feel about taking the Fender Acoustic to a show? I feel the same way, Mario. I feel like it looks very modern and is not what people are expecting to see. And that does bring me some concern because maybe not with my gigs. I play in bars and restaurants in New York, right? But think about like the Grand Ole Opry. They want a certain look, don't they, Dylan? They want to get up there with their Gibson, vintage Gibson. They want to. It's part of the whole image and the whole scene. And to get up there with an Acoustic, even if it sounds better than the other guitar, might not fit with their image. I mean, let's face it. Music is about image as well. I mean, you wouldn't believe it looking at me, but it's about like you want to play that, you want that look, don't you? It's not just about the sound. So I think Acoustic are amazing. I love them, but I also think that I can see why people don't want to play them because they want the look of a traditional instrument. And it's so hard for these guitar companies to break away from tradition, isn't it?
Well, that's because the players.
Yes. And they have to sell to the players.
Yeah.
So that's a whole topic right there. Van Shank would have done the refret. Van Shank, I might give you a call. I need to get stainless steel frets on the guitars. Blaine Train says you can put filler in wood guitars. I don't know. You can do that with carbon fiber. Yeah, you can. You can repair the carbon fiber with a filler as well.
Try to break it.
Exactly. They're harder to break as well, which is
Yeah.
good. So Dave from Rainsong said the radius is 20 inches. There we go. Like I said, that's very flat, right? 20 inches. So I had some problems with some capos on those, but not the G7th. Shout out the G7th. Grant says, I'm biased against carbon fiber because of the look, but I can get over it if it has the right sound and feel. Old says, hi, Old, how you doing? Blaine says, when I build guitars, my tools will cut 2 necks worth of frets. Each StewMac guitar is about $70. And I'm fascinated with the experiments with tone and different materials, and I've been arguing with my brother about hollow body electrics, how much sustain comes from feedback. It's so complicated. And Dustin says,
a great topic.
Yeah. It's really hard for me to not like a guitar as long as it sounds good. I mean, yeah, essentially that's what it all comes down to, right? That's the most important thing. Like we're going into the minutiae as I do on my channel, and I mean I know you say as well, Dylan. That's, does it sound good or bad? They say there's 2 types of music, right? Good and bad, and I do agree with that. But then again, if I didn't think about this other stuff, I wouldn't be making videos about it. So I just find this so much fun. When I played that video and got the comments, which we're now getting to, I just find it really fun, as well.
I'm just trying to be more open-minded about it. Because I know everybody thinks I'm crazy about this stuff, but I was really traditional before. Like when the Silver Sky came out, I did not think that. I thought it was stupid. Now it's my favorite electric guitar.
Well, I was the same.
I'm just trying to be more. If a new thing comes out, I just want to try it. That's where I'm at.
Change is hard, Change is hard for people, especially musicians, I find. Not everyone. I'm not being blanket with this. But yeah, we get to like things. I say that now all the time. If I review something now, I make a disclaimer that, look, this is what I've been playing for 5 years. Maybe I've just got that so ingrained in me that I can't like something else. I'm the same with pickups. if I play an acoustic guitar pickup at a gig for a month and then try a new one, it takes me a couple of gigs to actually kind of adapt. And I think that's the thing. I have some reviews as well, like just getting a guitar and reviewing it and shipping it back. I'd rather see like how it's been over a month or something myself. Like sometimes we need time to adjust ourselves as just as humans, right? Just need our ears just need time to adjust to the new sound. I think you got to give it a bit of time, in my opinion. Dustin says not having to worry about humidity is a big perk. To be honest, of course, for me that's a huge one, especially having a few guitars sanded down with the frets. That was really annoying. In essence, regardless of body material, pickups, or any special source on the guitar, the first and foremost influence of the sound is the player. Well, yes, of course. Tommy Emmanuel sounds like Tommy Emmanuel, whether he plays a Maton or a $200 guitar. We know that, right?
Yep.
Byram is all for innovation, but wood. Fair enough. Dave from Rainsong said the G7 Performance 3, that's what I use, adjusts to the radius of the guitar. Yes, they have a system in there where it adapts to the radius of any guitar, and it does work with the Rainsong as well.
That's cool.
And he said, we no longer make the hybrid carbon and glass models. Well, I think you should, Dave. Again, that's just my opinion. And sometimes I like guitars that you can't buy anymore. I suffer from that as well. You don't make the Smoky anymore? I got to find one on the used market, right? Gorgeous guitar. I like this one. Oh, Byram sold the Martin and got the carbon guitar. That's great. Yes, I feel bad.
Beautiful.
I feel bad. We haven't discussed this Breedlove in much detail, but it does look awesome. Is there a pickup in there?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what it is? Is it the same one?
It's a LR Bags. Yeah, it's the step up from that one.
The Element BTC.
Yeah. This guitar is unbelievable. It is unbelievable.
It looks great. I can tell the quality looking at it.
Yeah, because they have Chinese ones, Korean ones, and then this one is made in Oregon. So this is an American one. And I just put these new Stringjoy Foxwoods.
I want to try those. Yeah, I want to try those.
There's a link in the description of my video.
What's your thing with Stringjoy? What's your thing with it? Because I've got on Monday I've got Jeremy the Guitar Hunter on the show at 4:00, and he became the face of Stringjoy, didn't he? Because he did the video and they reposted it, and now he's known as the Stringjoy guy. I've tried them once years ago. I'm going to try them again soon and talk to them. But do you like them? Are they your strings you use all the time? Okay, cool.
Well, I hate coated strings. I've never liked them ever. I don't like elixirs. I don't like but Stringjoy sent me some prototype of their coated strings like a year and a half ago, and he's like, "These things are coming. What do you think?" They're fantastic. So they just came out last week, so I put them on both of them.
Okay. And yeah, I don't like the feel. I don't like the feel of the coated, but I like the fact they last longer. So I'd like to try those too.
These don't feel like coated. Yeah, okay. They're awesome.
I will check those.
There's a link in the description of my video. If you use that link, it helps me out. So
awesome. Is that you buy them from Stringjoy directly from that link? Okay. Awesome. Old says
made in Nashville.
Yeah, I'm going to check them out. They a lot of people really like them. What happens to the wood top as the humidity increases and the top expands? You're talking about my vintage guitar? Nothing. When I had Dave on for an interview, he said he put his in the shower for several months and nothing happened. So although there's wood on top, it will not crack. That was my first thought. Too olds that wood could crack, and it won't. I've had mine out the whole winter. It's absolutely fine. It's reinforced. It's stuck. It's fused, stuck whatever to the carbon, so it's reinforced by that as well. And it's thin.
That's awesome.
It's clever. What they did there was clever. Blaine would like to try a pure carbon electric. I would like to find an electric as well, Dylan. I was looking at a company that makes carbon fiber necks you can stick on your guitar. I'm starting to get the bug now for carbon fiber electrics as well, but they're less popular than the acoustics, right? It seems.
Stay tuned.
Oh, okay, great. That's exciting. Here we go. The spruce is fused to unidirectional carbon during the curing process, so it does not move or change with temperature or humidity changes. Thanks for that, Dave. Appreciate your comments on that. It's awesome. I'm just trying to get through these. I'll just scan through here and just flash them on the screen, and I'll skip the results. Scott said, I've also had experiences with buzzing with certain capos. Colorado capos work for me, but I have to make it very tight. Byram says you can't beat wood, or you can beat wood, but then you might break it. Okay. And then Scott said, I also prefer gig bags for carbon fiber guitars. And then we had the answers. So Dustin, B sounds like it has more ring to it. A was top end heavy. B was low end heavy. C is the happy medium. That was the smoky. David thought that.
So this is interesting.
He was right about that.
People hear it different too. So there's some people are saying
yes.
The A has more bottom end. Some
Yep.
people are saying it has more high end.
Yep.
So that's relative too, because people are
Yep.
hearing different things.
Yep.
So cool.
Yep. Someone wanted to ask you, Brennan said, Dylan, do you have experience throwing treble bleed on a set of alumitone buckers?
I don't. I haven't played with those too much. I have some, and I've messed with them a little bit, but not in any kind of way.
Grant likes C. See, I was getting excited here, Dylan. I was like, everyone's choosing C. I can't wait to tell them. And then they started to choose A. So it threw me off. I like C a bit better than B, but I take either. So Grant, good news. You are a carbon fiber fan. Enjoy your carbon fiber guitars. Gret said B is carbon. It was, with the wood fused to the top. Van Shanks had too much whiskey, so couldn't tell the difference. That's another answer as well. Another solution. Just drink a lot of whiskey, then it doesn't matter. I like B the best, so that was the vintage Rain Song. And then Grant said C. So again, I was very excited. I was like, that's the smoky guitar. But then Lee got A as wood. Lee does play Martins at the moment, so maybe that influences it as well. He's so used to that tone. Brennan said that A was brightened down. So this is where I got thrown, because people started to say A. You see? But then Gret said C. And then B sounded more subdued. So that's what I hear with that wood on the top. I actually hear it more of a subdued tone. And that's not my favorite, actually. But I do like the look of it. Missed the intro. Are we comparing 2 wood and 1 carbon? Well, I didn't really say. I kind of gave that away before we did the video. I never told people what it was, Brennan. But yeah, that's what it was. C is an orchestra. They're all the same body shape. They're all that kind of grand performance body shape. I want to keep it fair. So Helm said I like A. That was the Martin. Dr. McFarlane, hey everybody, said try the Eastman Acoustic. Yeah, we didn't give that much love today. I apologize. I have to visit those in the future. C is good, said Dustin. Brennan says A was carbon. That was the Martin. And then John said C was wood. That was the Rain. So you see what I'm saying, Dylan, with these experiments? It's all... But the only problem I would perceive is if everyone said, well, C was a carbon fiber guitar and I can tell and I don't like it. To me, that would mean that carbon maybe isn't for a lot of people. The fact that the results are so all over the place, to me, just shows how impressive the carbon is.
What was the results from your earlier in the week thing?
Yeah, but then a few people said A, so that threw me. But then someone said C, and then B, and then Mario. This is interesting. A, and I think A is wood. So that impressed me, and I was like, why? Why do you think that? That's why I said that, because I was like, well, do you know something that I don't, right? And then, okay, so the results from the week were, again, straight away, C is the best. That was the smoky. C is wood. No, that was the smoky. But I like B the best. That was the vintage. And that was a Martin fan. C is wood. Possibly mahogany. No, that was the smoky. C is carbon fiber. Then I got that. So that went the other way. And then C is wood. And then C is carbon fiber. And then B is carbon fiber. So overall, more people thought that C was wood than the other ones. But then some people did, you know, there's not really a definitive winner or answer to this trial. But all I can say is I think it's truly impressive that a guitar that's made out of glass and carbon fiber even sounds anything like a wooden Martin guitar. I think that to me just shows how I think that's great. And then like you said, Dylan, none of it really matters. You've got to play them and think, what do I think of the sound? And also you've also got to factor in the feel and the other pros and cons if there are any, because I do think the carbon guitars feel different to the wood guitars. Again, you might like that, you might not, and that is important as well. And the look too, right? Some people might not like the honeycomb look on your guitar, and some people might love it. So there's that factor as well. So that was kind of it. It was kind of a mix. And the only person I'll really take my hat off to there was Mario, because you got the A was the Martin and the wood guitar. But if we did it again, Mario, would you get it again, or was that a fluke? No, I love it. I find it really interesting. All right. Can we take that as the conclusion from today?
I think so.
I think we outlined the pros. I think there's many pros to carbon. I think if there are any cons, like I mentioned, maybe you don't like that visually, things like that. Maybe there are some cons. I think that's the wrong word, but maybe there are. But I'm really happy with the results of the video. I'm really happy there are people here that own carbon and like it as well. And I guess hopefully the result of this video, obviously you like carbon, Dylan. I like carbon. Hopefully the result of this video is people go out and try it and are more open-minded to trying those guitars and seek out those guitars. The other problem is it's hard to find these to play in the first place, right? McPherson carbon guitars are not in Guitar Center, right? They're not hanging on the wall.
No.
So that could be a problem too.
No.
So
I would say my takeaway from this is just add it to the next guitar purchase shopping that you do. It's going to have to fit into what you do, just like any other acoustic, but it could fit in just like any other acoustic. You know, I'm buying this guitar for this purpose, for this gig, because I want this sound. Maybe this guitar does it. Maybe it doesn't. Just don't walk by it just to walk by it. At least add it to the stack that you're going to try. That's all I would say.
Yeah. For me, it was the reason I want to bring this awareness for me is that a lot of people in forums years ago would say things like, I don't like carbon fiber, it sounds like plastic. And also some demos I saw didn't actually sound that good, which affected my thinking as well. And I think that's not fair. And I think people should definitely try it and also be aware of all those pluses we mentioned. The whole thing about, I think I read too that with carbon, you can have a lower action. You can get the action down lower because it's not moving so much too.
So my guitar doesn't have a truss rod.
Right.
But it comes, well, at the time that I bought my guitar, it came with multiple saddles. So you could pick your action. And it never moves.
So they give you different saddles and you just switch those out depending on the saddle height you want, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I think that's a big one. Like I would go out tomorrow and try one of those if I could, but they're not in the local stores. And I'm sure a lot of people don't want to just order like a $3,500 guitar, order it and have it shipped to them. I know we can do that now, and I'm sure they let you send it back if it doesn't work out for you, but it is another obstacle to actually trying the guitars, isn't it? So it'd be good to see a guitar store have more of those in stock as well. All right. Well, like I said earlier, we are restreaming. So if you're on my channel and you've enjoyed the chat with Dylan, please go and subscribe to Dylan Talks Tone. And likewise, if you're watching on Dylan Talks Tone, like what I'm doing here, please subscribe to my channel and ring the bell. I'd really appreciate it. And I want to thank Dylan for your time. And I just love doing this. Like I said, I love doing the solo shows, and I watch you do yours, Q&As and things too. But I think it's so good to get together and just talk about our experiences, and also to have all those people in the chat offer their experience and thoughts as well in real time. I just love it. I think it's such a great forum to do something like this. So I'd love to do it again soon, Dylan. Let me know when you get the QC if you like it. Maybe we'll do a stream about that. That could be fun. And they just released a new update which made it a lot better as well, which I'm really pleased about. So hopefully by the time you get yours, there'll be another update as well. Maybe that'd be good timing. All right. Well, enjoy your was it today, Friday? Enjoy your Friday night. Say hi to Leslie for me. And thanks again. I'll talk to you soon. Everyone watching, thank you for your time. We hope you enjoyed this and got something from it. Go and check out some carbon fiber guitars and let us know in the comments below what you thought of them. All right. All right. Thanks, Dylan. Have a great night. Bye, everybody. Thank you.